We lost our home in a fire, and my evil mother-in-law said I could only stay in her garage because I'm not her family. She thought she could treat me like trash, but now she's the one left out. The last few months have been rough. Near the end of last year, we lost the house to a freak accident. We lost almost everything we owned. It's just been a really stressful time for my little family of 4. We were out for a school recital when we received the call from a neighbor, and we returned to find the house in flames. The fire department tried to save what they could, but the damage was really bad. We ended up selling the property and moving altogether because the repairs essentially meant rebuilding the house. I have been married for 10 years, and my mother-in-law has never liked me. I still didn't expect her to act the way she did during this time. I always believed that even if she didn't like me, she'd help me in a time of need because I was the mother of her 2 grandsons and the wife of her son, and I made them happy. I was wrong. On the night of the accident, we needed a place to stay temporarily, at least until we could have a few moments to breathe and get our bearings. My husband suggested we stay with his mother for the night. It was late and it made the most sense to us both. We drove over to the house. My boys were half asleep in the backseat and we left them in the car when we went to speak to mother-in-law to explain what was going on. She was very sympathetic initially and said she had no problem with my husband and my son staying, but I would have to make other arrangements. My husband lost it with her and began to yell that she was being unreasonable, and she refused to budge. In her words, I wasn't true family and she'd never blessed our marriage in the first place, so I was not her responsibility. We left and spent the night in our car, and we got a motel the next day. She began calling and inviting us over to stay again, and she said that she'd graciously permit me to stay in the garage for a few days. Again, we didn't take her up on the offer and my husband told her that she was being very disrespectful. My mother-in-law got very angry and said we were spitting on her generosity. She then offered to keep the boys so that they wouldn't need to stay in a motel while we put our lives back in order. Again, we rejected her offer. We heard nothing from her for a few days until we learned that she had been badmouthing me to people. She was claiming that I was tearing the family apart in this time of need with my grudges. From her point of view, she'd opened her house to us in an instant and I turned her down and forced my husband's sons to live in a cheap motel because I didn't like her. My husband set the record straight, but mother-in-law did not ease up. She made an official complaint to the fire department claiming that I had caused the accident purposefully to destroy the house and force the current situation. She said that I was money hungry and had designs on her house and this was all part of my plan to steal her house from under her. I was taken in for questioning and I understand why due to the nature of the allegations, but I was cleared off everything as the investigation proved it was an accident and there was no way someone could deliberately cause the accident. She later showed up to the house while we were going through it to see what could be salvaged, and she made disparaging comments about how we should not be upset as these were just things. Yes, they were things. I'm not upset about the stove and the couch and the bed. I'm upset about the arts and crafts projects my sons made for Mother's Day every year. I'm upset about irreplaceable family heirlooms. I'm upset about the memories that were lost. The house was a fixer-upper when we bought it and we did a lot of the restoration ourselves. We had professionals handle things like the wiring, but we did the painting and the sanding and whatever we could to save money. My youngest son had a gaming console that he owned, which had been left at her house before the accident. They'd been over for a weekend with their father and had taken the console to keep them occupied. Mother-in-law stated she didn't have it, and we must have taken it back. My son argued with her that he'd had a conversation with her about leaving it there for the week so his cousin could use it while visiting. She gaslit him to the point of frustrated tears and kept saying we'd taken it back and it had probably been lost in the accident. The truth came out from others that mother-in-law had given it away after we'd refused her initial offer of hospitality. The shining ray of light through all this has been that this is the straw that broke the camel's back for my husband. We all went NC after these incidents and a few more, and we cut contact with her shortly before moving to our new place. She has been trying to get our address from family members, but she hasn't had any luck just yet. My husband made it clear that he'd have no problem cutting off anyone else in the family who gave her our address or contact information. If she can't support us when we're at our worst, she doesn't deserve to be there when we're at our best.